I've got a Baby Banter Fixed Blade coming out.
Oh, I was gonna say, oh, Ben, we can bleep out the swear words if you want, but
No, just that's it. I'm a serious garden person.
Ben, thanks a lot for taking the time. This must be really early in the morning for you.
It's only 8 a.m., so it's not too bad.
Okay.
But I don't know if my brain is awake and stuff. So if I say anything stupid,
we love that. Have you had coffee yet? Or?
No, I'm flying.
Yeah.
I'm just going
wow.
for it, man.
Oh wow! I'll keep it easy on you then. Yeah, we're doing this bit of an interview, so the customers or the people, the visitors of the festival, will get to know our mystery guest a little bit better. Thanks
I should have started this interview with a box on my head.
With the box, yeah. It's so awesome that you're willing to play like that. Yeah. Have you ever been to the Netherlands?
I never have.
You never have?
In fact, my wife's family is Dutch, and so for all of the birthdays in her family, we all sing Lang Sasse Leven. So
Lang Sasse Leven. Yeah.
I'm just gonna show up singing Lang Sasse Leven in like some clogs with like some blue plates. I'll be there.
Cool. Awesome. Do you know any other Dutch words?
Literally none.
We can bleep out the swear words if you want, but
no, just Lang Sasse Leven in La Horia, man. That's it.
We'll ask our visitors to teach you a few.
Yes.
So could you expand a little bit on what you're gonna come and do here?
Yeah, so you guys invited me out, and I'm basically gonna come talk knives. We'll run a dartboard as well. We take one of my posters. So Knives and Tools has been making my poster in Europe for like 4 years now, I think. 4 or 5?
5. We launched your poster at our first Knives and Tools festival, which is like almost 5 years ago. Yeah.
Dude, that warms my heart. That's crazy. So interesting fun fact, and then I'll answer your question. Knives and Tools was the second ever Knafs dealer with the poster. So yeah, seriously, that's pretty dang cool. So we have made a dartboard out of the poster, and we'll have, I think we shipped you something like $1,500 of prizes for the dartboard. Yeah. So those are already at your shop. So we'll have darts, and people can come play darts and chat and win prizes and stickers and swag and all the good stuff. So mostly, I think the biggest thing that I want to do is just meet people who have supported my work for years. Like, I get excited about that because I know, like, the Banter series, the Lander series, people in Europe love that stuff. I think there's something about the simplicity of the way I design that Europeans are like, yes, that. The Americans are like, put more angles and lines, and I'm like, but simplicity, So I'm excited to meet a lot of people who have supported my work for a lot of years.
Awesome. 5 years ago, I worked at our service department, and we had one of your posters on the sidewall. So then I would be talking to customers, and they'd be like, "Yeah, I need a hawkbill blade," and I'm like, "Yeah, let me check. Oh, of course, now I know."
It's interesting because that poster, from what I've heard, I haven't seen it, but it hangs in Boker in Germany. It's in El Salvador at Condor. I've heard it hangs in Leatherman and Spyderco. Like, not that I wrote the book on it. It was basically compiling a whole bunch of information into that poster, but I think it's been a really helpful resource for people getting into pocket knives, and it allows people to sort of like crash land into knives and be okay, right? Yeah. Because it's complicated. It's a weird world.
It's complicated, but I must say the poster is so comprehensive. Like as a novice, when you stand in front of the poster, I think that's all information you need when you come and work with us. Like, take in the poster and then we'll talk. Yeah.
I love it. That's amazing.
So at the moment of taping this, the Lander 4 Kickstarter hasn't launched yet, but could you talk a little bit about it? I'm really curious.
Yeah, I wish I had one on the table. So Lander 4, in fact, I've got the Lulu on the table, and this is a good place to start. So the Lulu was actually supposed to be the Lander Fixed Blade. So I think in terms of themes. So, right, you start with a Lander 1, and then you go to a 2. This one's what I've been carrying for a minute. You go to a 2, you go to a 3, and then I was like, I want a fixed blade in this line. And so I started drawing, and it actually turned out to be the Lulu the first try. Yeah. Because the lines, like, there's similar lines to them, but by the time I was done, I was like, that is a totally different knife than the Lander. And so we released the Lulu last year, and the Lander 4 is basically the Lander 1 in fixed blade form. It's a little bit shorter blade, but essentially we wanted a pocketable EDC fixed blade. Do you want to wait a second? I'll go grab it.
Yeah, sure.
So I can grab
please
it.
do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hold, please. I'll be back. So this is the Lander 4 fixed blade. So if you look at it, very much Lander cues here, right?
Yeah.
But we also looked at it and said, if it's going to be a pocketable fixed blade, how do you make it in a way that people get excited about it? So we cut the handle by about 3/4 of an inch, which you're going to have to translate that to centimeters for me.
Yeah.
I don't know either. And then we stuck a lanyard bead on the end of it. So that is a brass bead and a lanyard on there. And so when you get it in your hand, your pinky's just kind of sitting on the end of that bead. But then it doesn't take up as much space in your pocket. Like you want that space for your hand, but not necessarily sticking out of your pocket. And then we did a Kydex sheath with just a kind of a standard Kydex belt loop on it. And my thought process there, it's maybe not like the world's greatest sheath, but people always are customizing their sheaths anyway. They're throwing an ulti clip or they're neck carrying or whatever. And it's like, let's just make a very baseline sheath that people can get excited about, and then they can customize from there. But yeah, that's Lander 4. So I get excited about this stuff because it's like, one thing I learned when I worked at CRKT, I got to ride around with Ken Onion a lot. And Ken was like, you have to design in themes. Like, so you look at his Kershaw knives, right? You've got the Leek, the Chive, the Scallion. It's like, those are 3 knives in a family, and they all have onion names, right?
Yeah.
Ken Onion. For
me, God, I just only now, my mind's blown.
But like that's the beauty of how Ken designs, right? Like he's thinking in terms of like these wild themes, and then you don't even realize it until you're like, wait a minute. So I don't know that I have like that much like competence when it comes to a theme, but I do like to think in terms of like, okay, we've done a 2 3/4 inch blade. We've done a 3 1/4, and it's like crossbar. So you can kind of just play with it, and you'll see that like lots of knife companies do that, but I'm trying to be really deliberate about it. And I want the knives in this series, the Lander series, to all feel like family. Once they start to feel not like family, it becomes a new knife.
Yeah. Cool.
So anyway, long explanation, but there you go.
But it's good to get some insights. So on our festival, we always have a sharpness contest, and we'll ask you to bring your sharpest knife, perhaps even a Lander 4. Which knife would you know? If I would ask you now, which is the sharpest knife in your pocket? Like, which one would you bring?
Today, everything on the table are like from my personal collection, so none of them are sharp. I have a Yipper in my pocket today that I think has been sharpened recently. Steph, can I share this? I'm not good at sharpening. I'm really terrible at it. And so I just hand things off to our in-house sharpener. I'm like, Keith, fix this. Yeah. I can imagine. Yeah. So I have the Yipper today, and I think that one's probably the sharpest today, but I will, I'll hone something down to perfect sharpness.
Nice. I used the Precision Adjust from Worksharp, and I used it on the Baby Banter as well. And then I nicked a bit, not of the edge, but a bit above it. And I was like, it's just like you. I'm not a sharpening buff or anything. I need to hand it to our warranty guys and ask them to do it.
It's a real skill.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to be like precise about it, and it's art plus science. And frankly, I'm pretty good at messing up blades, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. So which product in your product line are you most proud of?
That's a really good question. I think historically the Baby Banter has always just been kind of like this knife that it sort of came from this idea of like, let's make a knife more accessible to more people. So I kind of had like women and like my own kids in mind when I designed it. So both of my older kids have Baby Banters, and it's kind of been like it's been really fun to watch that thing take off in ways that are really exciting. And it feels like a knife that will be in my library for years and years to come, just because it's like the design is fine, but I think the execution is excellent. And it's just an interesting piece. That's kind of like, that one's had 4 years to kind of to grow and develop. I think right now though, I'm really excited about Lander 2. Mm-hmm. I wish I could share where this is going, Steph. There's some fun stuff coming out on the Lander 2 that I think people will be really excited about. And it's, as far as like newer products, this one to me is sort of the flagship of Knafs right now.
Yeah, I think what's nice about your product assortment is that you do stuff like for the whole hobby. Like you have your burrito, you have your maintenance kit and stuff. It's like for every piece, your maintenance mat, for every piece of the hobby, you offer something. I think that's really nice. Not a lot of brands like take the whole range.
We're trying to. And again, that's thinking in themes, right? Like we want to not just sell you a knife, but we want to teach you how to maintain it and sell you a Torx driver, and we want to sell you a burrito where you can put all the parts. And so to me, it's the idea of like owning your tool. Don't just have a tool, but know how to maintain it. Even if you're a terrible sharpener, like you can't mess it up that bad, right?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Somebody can probably bring it back and fix it if you have to.
Yeah. So which knife did you carry around most this year? I heard you switch a lot of knives.
I do. This year, I've been carrying probably the last month. I've actually been carrying this one, Lander 2, in micarta. I sanded the micarta down. So we ship it kind of rough because you can always sand it down. You can never get back to rough. So I sanded it down. I've been carrying this one a lot this year. What else? Carried the... that one hasn't been released yet, but I'll announce it. I've got a Baby Banter Fixed Blade coming out that I've carried. Yeah.
How cool is that?
Pretty heavily this year, just testing it and making sure it works.
Is that like a neck knife?
It's neck knife size, yeah. Little bit shorter, again, shorter in the handle on the Fixed Blade than the regular Baby Banter, and it comes with a lanyard. So that I've carried that quite a bit, just testing it and playing with it. The other ones I can't tell you all the tricks yet.
Yeah, of course.
We've got some really fun prototypes in the works. So I find that I'll carry like something like this that's released, and then I'll be carrying a prototype along the way too. So some super fun prototypes coming, but not ready to announce yet.
Exactly. Perhaps we'll talk about more in September then. What do you think is the biggest difference between the European knife market and the American knife market? You said a couple of models were doing a bit better in Europe compared to America. Can you elaborate a bit on that?
My take on Europeans is you all have maybe a little bit more cultured style.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, and I don't say that. It's just like, I think of like my friends from the Netherlands or Germany, like you're not as flashy. You're not as like, it's more like simple styling and things like that. And that's, I mean, you look at the knives I design and it's very, very simple stuff. I am not, like I think of like Elijah Isham's work and it's really beautiful stuff.
It's almost alien.
Yeah, it's very different. And I think that there's a certain demographic that really likes that. I even think of like a lot of Kershaw's stuff. It's really angular and like a lot of different things going on. And it's not bad design per se. But I do think that a lot of Europeans kind of subscribe to this Bauhaus, like simplicity movement. And that's kind of what calls to me too. Like I drive a Toyota Tacoma. I like dark shirts, you know, like just I'm not super flashy, if I'm being honest. And I think there are Europeans that are flashy, but I do think a lot of people tend to be more like baseline chill, if that makes sense. Yeah. So I think that, yeah, you see a lot of, I also think like, I've heard from several people like design slip joints. I've never designed a slip joint. And so I think there's an opportunity there. In fact, I might be working on a couple of slip joints, which is fun because it's different. I don't really carry slip joints that much. In fact, this year I have carried a Rosecraft slip joint. For a couple months I carried it just to kind of better understand Okay, non-locking folders. Why would you? How would you? That sort of thing. So I do think there's an opportunity there within design, but it seems like from what I've heard across Europe, slip joints are fairly popular.
Yeah, I think in our customer group, we noticed that a lot of case knives, people really get on the bandwagon of case. And one of our colleagues, Jasper, I think you know him, he's really on the Barlow end. And I think Lion Steel makes beautiful slip joints. So all in all, I think like 5 or 7 years ago, we didn't sell that many slip joints, but it's really catching up to speed, I think. So those were my semi-serious questions. Now, to get to know one's person's character, I have a few other questions, which I think is really important for our visitors to know what kind of type of person our mystery guest is. So let me really try to give a good intro about this. But what's your favorite pizza topping? Tell me, Ben.
Okay, this is controversial. It's pineapple.
Oh, I was gonna say. Oh, Ben.
I love pineapple on pizza. Ben. I know it's controversial. But like, if you get a good pineapple that's like nice and warm, I love Hawaiian, man. And if you get some like jalapenos on there too with it. It's good. And I know that's controversial, but
I'm kind of medium on it. It's okay that someone likes it. We have a few Italian colleagues. When you come here September, don't mention pineapple on pizza. They will absolutely shun you for the whole day. Yeah.
I understand it's a problem. It's problematic, but you love what you love.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah, of course. So another question. If you could choose between 2 superpowers, being able to fly or being invisible, which would it be?
Fly all day long.
Fly, yeah.
I'm like the guy on the airplane. I always get a window seat, and I like have my nose pressed against the window. It's fascinating. I really.
If you try to wrap your mind around flying, it's crazy. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I love maps, and like airplanes are like the ultimate like. This is the topography. Look, there's a lake, there's a river. It's like a map in real time, and so yeah, absolutely fly.
Yeah. Cool. Another one. What do you think is the best Arnold Schwarzenegger movie? Tell me.
Dude, okay, I'm not a movie buff. I have a film degree.
Oh,
I'm not, but I don't even know.
Oh,
I know. Pineapple on Pizza, not a favorite Arnold movie. Dude, I don't even know.
Okay, I can give you a few options.
Sorry.
Have you seen Total Recall or Terminator 2? Oh my God.
See, I think like growing up, Terminator was a thing, right? Like that was like it was easy to get excited about that, but like that probably came out when I was a pretty young kid, and my parents were like, "No, you're not doing that." Yeah. But I have like this image of Arnold like get to the chopper.
Yeah, exactly.
And like
you're fired. Yeah.
You're fired. Yeah. And then like he did a bunch of like Hummer commercials here in the US. And so like Arnold and Hummers are always in my head together. Like,
yeah.
The Hummer,
the Governator. Yeah.
The Governator. Yeah.
So I have 2 more questions for you. What's your opinion on garden gnomes? Yay or nay?
Okay. I used to be a hard nay on this. But my mom was traveling for about a year, and while she was gone, we put like probably 30 garden gnomes in her yard as a joke. And so I'm a hard yay on that. I'm all for it.
Nice.
But maybe more as like a practical joke and not like I'm a serious garden gnome person.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's good to know. So the last one is also really important for us to know. Would you rather fight 100 duck-sized horses or 1 horse-sized duck? I'm dying to know, Ben.
Wow. I would go for 100 duck-sized horses. I feel like you could really like, I don't know, like but like 1 horse-sized duck, I don't know that you have a chance. Like I
you
think
have no chance. No.
Yeah, like I feel like that's like over, like slam down, and with 100. But you know, some ducks get big. This is a hard question. I mean, the Terminator one was hard, but this one's really hard.
Yeah, I know.
Because you think about some ducks, they get big. Are these regular sized duck or big sized ducks, or like hatchlings?
Big size ducks. Yeah.
Oof. I'd still take the big sized ducks.
Fair enough. Well, thanks for shedding light on these important topics. Once again, thanks a million that you guys are coming over, your wife as well. We can't wait, and love to see you in September.
Thank you, Steph. I appreciate it, and I'm so excited. I can already taste the Stroop waffle, man. I can already taste it.
We'll fix one for you, no problem.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to it.